It's February in Yakutia. Outside, the temperature has dropped to -50°C, and the only road to the next village is a frozen river glowing faintly under the moon. At this level of cold, rubber turns to stone, metal becomes fragile, and one wrong move can crack the ice under your wheels.
Over.
But for Alexei, this is not a nightmare. It's his job. Today, he has to drive a 20-ton truck loaded with food and fuel over a highway made of ice to reach a tiny village that hasn't seen a delivery in weeks. If he fails, people will run out of bread, gasoline, and medicine. In the coldest region on Earth, how do you keep going when the only road ahead of you could break at any moment? Alexei is 38 years old. For most of the year, he works as a mechanic in a small town in Yakutia. But in deep winter, when rivers freeze and winter roads open, he becomes one of the drivers who connect isolated villages to the rest of the world. He doesn't live in the villages he serves. He spends weeks on the road, sleeping in roadside cabins or inside his truck, surrounded by nothing but snow, forest, and silence. The villages he visits have no supermarkets, no big warehouses. They survive on what trucks like his can bring: flour, sugar, cooking oil, canned food, gasoline, gas cylinders, sometimes even school supplies and medicine. His responsibility is heavy and simple. If he doesn't arrive, shelves stay empty and generators run dry. In Yakutia, some people keep their families warm. Alexei keeps whole communities alive. It's 6 a.m. The sky outside the wooden roadside cabin is still black, the stars sharp and cold above the frozen river. Alexei wakes up in a narrow bed, his breath visible even indoors. The first thing he does is not check his phone or make coffee. He pulls on his boots, throws on a thick jacket over his thermal underwear, and steps outside to see if his truck has survived the night. The truck stands a few meters away, its huge body covered in frost so thick it looks like it was dipped in sugar. He opens the hood, his fingers already stiffening in the cold.
They say the winters here
in this temperature, engine oil turns thick, battery power drops, and even steel can crack. He checks the antifreeze, inspects the fuel lines wrapped with extra insulation, and makes sure the heater that has been blowing warm air into the engine all night did not fail. Only when he's sure the truck is ready, he goes back inside. In the cabin, the stove is still glowing faintly. He feeds it with more wood, melts a chunk of snow in a pot, and makes strong black tea. His partner for the day, a younger driver named Kolya, is just waking up.
Come.
Cold? Kolya
It's warm
mumbles.
inside.
-50, Alexei answers calmly. Good weather, the ice will be strong. They eat simple breakfast: bread, canned meat, pickles, then start putting on their armor: thermal underwear, wool sweater, quilted jacket, padded pants, heavy coat, fur hat, layer after layer, until they move like astronauts. Today's mission: follow the ice road along the river for nearly 200 kilometers and deliver every single box in their trailer to one frozen village at the end of the line. The truck's engine rumbles to life, sending a cloud of white exhaust into the air. Slowly, Alexei guides the massive vehicle down the ramp and onto the frozen river. Under the wheels, the surface is a mixture of polished ice and packed snow. The headlights carve two pale tunnels through drifting crystals. Winter roads like this only exist for a few months each year. In summer, this is a flowing river, impossible to cross with heavy trucks. But in winter, when the ice is thick enough, they become lifelines to remote communities. Alexei keeps his speed steady, never too fast, never too slow. If he goes too fast, the weight of the truck can create waves under the ice that crack the surface ahead. If he goes too slow, the engine and tires suffer more from the cold. They pass blue marker flags driven into the ice every few hundred meters, guiding them in the middle of the river where the ice is thickest. From time to time, they see an old crack, filled and frozen over, a reminder that the ice is always moving, always changing. For hours, the view barely changes. Trees on the distant shore, snow, ice, the faint pink line of sunrise. Inside the cabin, the heater hums, but the floor under their boots still feels like a block of ice. Alexei grips the wheel with steady hands. He's driven this route many times, but he never forgets. Out here, a mistake is not a small inconvenience. A mistake can mean being stranded dozens of kilometers from the nearest house, with temperatures dropping lower every hour. Around midday, the wind picks up. Snow begins to blow across the river, covering the old tracks, softening the edges between road and emptiness. Alexei narrows his eyes, leaning closer to the windshield. The blue flags are harder to see now, blurred by swirling snow. Then he hears it, a deep, unfamiliar sound beneath the roar of the engine. A hollow, echoing crack. He eases off the throttle, heart beating a little faster. "Did you hear that?" Kolya asks quietly. "Yes," Alexei says. "We're going to the shore, now." He turns the wheel gently, guiding the truck toward a section of river where the ice road touches land. Every instinct tells him not to stop in the middle of the river. They reach the shore, the truck's tires climbing onto packed snow and frozen earth. Alexei shuts off the engine, and for a moment, the world is almost completely silent. Only the wind, and far away, another faint cracking sound from the river. He steps out, walks carefully back along the ice, and sees it. A fresh, long crack has opened near the center of the river, thin but stretching across almost the entire width. For now, the ice has not broken, but the message is clear. The river is shifting, and the road is no longer as safe as it was this morning. For a moment, Alexei thinks about turning back. But then he remembers the village at the end of the route, where people are waiting for flour, fuel, and the medicine loaded in the front of the trailer. He pulls out his radio, contacts the winter road dispatcher, reports the crack, and gets instructions for a different path. A detour through the forest, longer and rougher, but safer than the river now. The decision is made. They climb back into the truck, start the engine again, and leave the river behind, snow swirling in their mirrors. By late afternoon, as the sky turns violet and the first stars appear, they see it. A thin line of smoke over the treetops, then the shapes of wooden houses, clustered together against the cold. The village. Children in thick coats run to the roadside, waving at the truck as it slowly rumbles past. Dogs bark, their breath puffing in the air. They stop in front of a small wooden store with frost-covered windows and a single light glowing inside. The shopkeeper comes out, pulling his hat down over his ears, a wide smile on his face. "You made it," he says, slapping Alexei on the shoulder. "We were almost out of flour." They unload box after box, sacks of flour, sugar, pasta, oil, canned meat, gasoline, and finally a small crate of medicine for the village clinic. Villagers help, passing items hand to hand, their cheeks red, eyes bright. When the last box is inside, the shopkeeper invites them into his house next door. In the warm, low-ceilinged kitchen, steam rises from a pot of soup, and the table is set with bread, butter, and slices of frozen fish. A simple feast for guests who came from far away. Alexei wraps his hands around a mug of hot tea, feeling the warmth slowly return to his fingers. Through the window, he can see the truck standing quietly in the snow, its long journey for today finally over. Outside, the temperature is still -50. Inside, people talk, laugh, and argue gently about which sweets to buy for their children tomorrow, now that the store is full again. For them, the truck was not just a vehicle. It was a bridge between their frozen village and the rest of the world. In Yakutia, winter roads are built on frozen rivers, lakes, and compacted snow. They are only usable for a few months each year, but during that time, they are the only way to reach some remote settlements.
The ice will be strong.
Drivers must pay attention not only to the weather, but also to the thickness and movement of ice. Too much weight, too much speed, or a sudden warm spell can make a safe road dangerous in just a few hours.
The ice will
Breaking down on a winter road is not like breaking down on a city street. In temperatures below -40 or 50 degrees max, people can get frostbite in minutes and hypothermia soon after. That's why trucks are often equipped with extra fuel, food, tools, and sometimes even portable stoves. On these roads, being prepared can be the difference between making it home and never being found at all. In the frozen silence of Yakutia, far from highways and big cities, there are roads that exist only in winter, drawn in snow and ice, erased again in spring. On those roads, men like Alexei drive for days, carrying the simple things most of us take for granted: bread, fuel, medicine, and the feeling that the world has not forgotten you. When he leaves the village the next morning, the store shelves will be full. Generators will have fuel. The clinic will have what it needs. The villagers will go back to their routines. Children will go to school. And life will feel normal again in a place where nothing is truly normal. In the coldest inhabited region on Earth, sometimes the bravest journeys are not the ones on TV or in adventure books, but the quiet trips that keep ordinary people alive. What about you? Would you dare to drive a truck across a frozen river at -50 degrees? What is the most dangerous or unforgettable road you've ever taken? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so we can keep bringing you the warmest stories from the coldest places on Earth.